Be right back. Hi. I'm going to get my, I forgot my coffee. I'll be right back. Oh, it's right here. Jeez. Hello, hello. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Mom. Let me get rid of some of this light. I don't want all this light. Hello, everybody. Hi, web viewers and replay viewers. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Ooh. Ooh. So, good morning. Some coughing fits last night, so not great sleep yet, but I do feel a lot better. Super disturbed by this bright light here. Stay away from the light. Don't go into the light, Caroline. Don't go into the light. Just kidding. Poltergeist, anyone? So, hello, hi. I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever. Not the light. Caroline. It was a creepy movie. That little lady was creepy. So, I know. The little gremlins are taking their naps. We're off schedule this week because of Thanksgiving. Oh, the bright light was bugging me, so I was just doing a terrible impersonation of that Poltergeist movie with the little lady who tells the little girl to not go into the light. Some shit. I don't know. It's been a long time. Caroline. So yeah. I do feel a lot better. Still having some coughing fits, but they're not as painful. They're actually not very painful too bad at all. And I was able to come down here today at a decent hour. I had to leave at 8 instead of at, a little bit before 5. Right. He's conditioned. Oh, the beep means Mom's attention is not going to be available. So now I must talk. Davis. So today's A Course in Miracles Day. My name's Michelle Wolf. You can find me at caddyshackdesigns.com. I'm so unprepared. There's some days all you can do is show up. That's the best I can do the last few days is just show up. Right? He does. And the cell phone, yeah. So I don't have my business card, but you guys know me. And if you're watching the replay, you can Google my name, Michelle Wolf with 2 F's, and you can find me just about anywhere. Hey, Rhonda. So it's a little easier to talk today, too. Today's A Course in Miracles Day. Thank you, Linda. That's where you can find me. And everything you need to know is out there on the internet somewhere. So, thanks for those of you who have been sending energy my way. I definitely feel like it's contributing to this super fast recovery. I've been getting a lot. I know, right? McTexty text. She's super fast still. Nobody can beat Linda for texting and emoji finding, and we're just gonna pretend that we're gonna pretend that I did this on purpose. This is like the newest fashion it's like instead of cocaine chic, it's post-respiratory virus chic. Don't be jealous. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. So, today is Course in Miracles Day. The girls are sleeping. Don't just stand there. Let's get to it. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Vogue. Love you. Don't get me started. I can go all day. Course in Miracles, Course in Miracles. Today's reading is November 23rd out of the Holy Shift book by Robert, what's his name, Holden. Go Madonna, it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. I'm telling you, don't. Today is chapter 13. Where's Tanya? Tanya! Where's Nina? It's because our time is off. I'm so late today. Cynthia and everybody's going to be all thrown off kilter. Chapter 13, the guiltless world. Can you imagine such a place? The guiltless world. Section 7, verse 4. And that's what's in his book, but when you read it out of context, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I'm actually going to start reading before that in section 1. And then I want to tell you about what happens when I tell this to my Desire Map workshop people all the time. Once you start a workshop like that, once you take the lid off, all kinds of things are going to start happening to you, and you better be ready to roll with it. Because too often what happens is we say, I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to see what's blocking me. And then it starts coming at you and you're like, whoa, hold on. This sucks. So we'll go into that. Be ready, bitches. You said it. You started it. You laid out the gauntlet for the universe. And you're like, bring it. And you're like, oh, I changed my mind. We'll get to that. Sit quietly and look upon the world you see and tell yourself, the real world is not like this. It has no buildings and there are no streets where people walk alone and separate. There are no stores where people buy an endless list of things they do not need. The real world is not lit with artificial light. There is no day that brightens and grows dim. Oh, that's funny. Well, we knew it anyway. Try saying penis and see if it blocks that. Oh, that's funny. I didn't know it did that. Oh, see, penis is fine. We can't say bitches, but penis, we can say penis all day long. I kind of hope there's no people watching today. Okay, anyway. Let's get serious. The world you see must be denied, for sight of it is costing you a different kind of vision. This is important. Here's the important part. Oh, that's funny. The world you see around you right now must be denied, for focusing your sight on that is robbing you of a different vision, of a different world, the world that you really want to see, the world that you say you want to see. Oh, that's funny. See? Rhonda's smart. She just threw a number in there. Haha, take that, Periscope censorship. Rhonda's got your number. She can type boobs if she wants to. Watch this. Oh my God, I feel so much better. I'm just giddy. You cannot see both worlds, for each of them involves a different kind of seeing and depends on what you cherish. Oh, see? Michelle Lee just kicked your ass too. Take that. Censor this, mofo. You're not going to censor shit. Periscope suppresses women's body parts. Down with the man. We're being, help, I'm being oppressed. Okay. You can't see this world and the other world. You know the world that we're talking about, the inner world, the wonderful world where there is no judgment and we don't get tangled up and choked to death on our stories. You can't see both of them at the same time, for each of them involves a different kind of seeing and depends on what you cherish. That's so key. The world you see depends on what you cherish, because what you cherish is what you're looking for and what you're looking at. The sight of one is possible only because you have denied the other. Both are not true, yet either one will seem as real as the amount to which you hold it dear. You do not really want the world you see right now, for it has disappointed you since time began. The homes you've built have never sheltered you. The roads you have made led you nowhere. and no city that you built has withstood the crumbling assault of time. Nothing you made but has the mark of death upon it, meaning everything that we build is destined to die. Don't hold it dear. Don't cherish it, because it's old and tired and ready to return to dust, even as you have made it. It's temporary, yes. Hi, Roseanne. This aching world, the world around you, has not the power to touch the living world, the true world, at all. You couldn't give it that. We tried, right? We tried to imbue this world. Not too bad. Mostly I was just cutting up. You just missed a few sentences. You'll be fine. This aching world has not the power to touch the living world at all. We couldn't give this world life. So we turn in sadness away from it. And you cannot find in it the road that leads away from it into another world. Yet the real world has the power to touch you here, even here, because you love it. At your core, the real world is what you love. So it calls to us, even though we're lost in the wilderness, even though we're lost in the concrete jungles. It calls to us and we hear it. We love it. We are it. It is us. So we hear ourselves echoed in that still small voice and we crave it. And the problem is we misinterpret our cravings. We turn that into cravings for alcohol or substances or food or too much TV or too much internet, which, by the way, I feel a lot better. I sound terrible, but I feel okay. Thank you. What you call with love will come to you. I sound like I'm like a 50-pack a day blues singer smoker, but I'm not. It's okay. It's not painful. Love always answers because it cannot deny a call for help. All that you need to give this world away in glad exchange for what you did not make is willingness to learn about the one you made is false. Okay, so now it's like slipped into Yoda speak, right? So Course in Miracles in the text is particularly bad about starting off in a place that you can understand and then slipping off into Yoda speak. So let's try and make that practical, right? Because that's what we do. That's what we do here. We take this esoteric, poetic language, but it can be difficult to understand. Two worlds. The one we see isn't the real world. Yeah. Yoda ease, Yoda speak. We can't see this world and the other world if we cherish one. Whatever we cherish is the one we're going to see. If our priority is oneness and staying in that oneness, that's the world we will see. If our priority is buying the biggest Christmas present for the family this year, or doing the biggest vacation, or maxing out our credit cards, or competing with other people, or competing with ourselves, that's the world we'll see. If our focus is on terrorism and politics and the horror of the world, yes, I do, because I do, Michelle, I really do, because you can't rip through it. Like if you read the text, it's deliberately set up to slow you down. You can't open this book and read it in a weekend. You'd be lucky if you can get through a chapter in a week. That's why we read little chunks, because it's not really complex, but it's written complex, and it makes you stop and think. I've been here 30 minutes, and already I have toddler goo on my pants. I just found it. Yeah. The world we see around us is so, you can't sit down and just read this. It's truly a textbook. It requires study. We don't want what we see around us. We know there's something more. That's what makes us so restless. That's what makes us so anxious, I think. We're anxious and we're restless because we know there's more to the story. And until we run across materials and teachers, we don't know what that is. So for young people in particular, they can get off track and slip into criminal activity or substances or, just being really off track because they're searching. We're searching. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you all are here to share it. There's a saying by Hildegard. Somebody has to know who this woman is. It's Hildegard of Bergen. I believe it's a German town. She was a nun. She has some beautiful writings out there. Hildegard of Bergen, I think. I've written this quote. I was telling my mom this morning. I've written this quote on every journal I've had since 2007. And the quote is, the very act of reaching for the feather creates the breeze that pushes it away. Binge not. Binge not upon your Cheetos. Oh, yes, thank you. Oh. Hildegard of... Is it a German town? Bigen. You can Google her. Yes, I will. But let's also binge not. Binge not upon thy Cheetos or thy popcorn with butter. Also binge not upon thy internet. Note to self. Bingen, thank you. Hildegard of Bingen. She's an amazing writer. So her quote is, the very act of reaching for the feather creates the breeze that pushes it away. Dang it, Linda. Tell your connection to knock it off. That's ridiculous. The very act of reaching for the feather creates the wind that pushes it away. Creates the breeze, I think. I think it says creates the breeze that pushes it away. It's a common, fairly common quote, so it should be easy to Google. So with the sickness thing, I've been contemplating a lot of my stories. Oh, and I don't know if I finished saying thank you for the people who've been sending me Reiki and energy and work and well wishes. I really, really appreciate that, and I really, really believe. I mean, this is only, the third day, maybe the fourth day? I'm pretty well over it. That was, Friday and Saturday were pretty violent. Eckhart Tolle says, and I've used this quote of his a lot in my own life, to ask yourself, what's wrong with this moment? When you're fighting against this moment, so when you're stuck on something in this world, but your soul is craving a vision of this other world that you know intuitively exists, the only way to get to that world is to stay present. It's ironic. It's also paradoxical. To stay present right here, in this moment, is all your power. And that's really easy for us to say. And anytime we reach for something, by reaching for it, we're pushing it away from us. So I go to reach for the coffee cup, I'm pushing it away. I go to reach for love, I'm pushing it away. It has to come toward me. And for it to come to me, oh sweet coffee cup, I have to be centered and present. So if I'm looking for money, or I'm looking for love in all the wrong places, or I'm looking for peace, I automatically push it away. Because I can't go out and get something that's already here. I can't go to the grocery store and buy a dozen eggs if a dozen eggs are already here. There's no need for that. It's wasted time. It's wasted energy. So the very act of reaching toward something is a judgment against what exists right now. So we know from all our reading that we have to accept what is. We have to accept what is before it can shift, right? Okay, everything says that. The miracle is a shift in perception. We can't have the shift in perception if we're Ronda Rouseying our isness. If we're who was the winner? Holly Holm. If we're beating the crap out of our current existence, we can't access what we truly crave. We can't get there. The only thing keeping us from the only thing that keeping us from acceptance is judgment against this moment. So in this moment, if I have a judgment about being sick, then I story tell, I compare. The first thought in my head is, how do I feel today compared to yesterday? Oh, do I feel better today than I did yesterday? Yeah? Okay, good. No? Oh, crap. All you have to do is open your heart, and all the abundance you need will find its way to your door. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Martha Beck says everything we're reaching for is coming to our home. It's waiting for us at home. But our home is on Peace Street, and we don't hang out there very often. We don't stay home. We don't stay home long enough for our stuff to arrive. So we keep missing the cosmic UPS guy, and because we're not staying home long enough. We need to be home to sign for our package, but we're not home, right? We're out messing around in other people's business. We're out telling stories. You can find me now at 123 Peace Street. Yes, absolutely. Here's the tricky part. When you say, I want to live at 123 Peace Street, all the things that are keeping you from living there are going to come up into your awareness, and it can feel like the world is falling apart. Almost every place you've lived is no longer there. So temporary our world. If you have an underlying agenda of wanting to change something, you're not cursed. It's just temporary. This is really bugging me. If I had some scissors, I would just cut this hair off right now. It's probably a good thing I don't have scissors. It's just no longer needed. Right. Yeah. The post-sick chic look. Yeah, it's in my face. I don't like it. Looking for better, having an agenda that you're doing this work because you want something to be better, prevents you from ever feeling better. Reaching for the feather pushes it away. Reaching for the peace pushes it away, because if you're in the mindset of reaching, the implication is it's not here. You're not aware of its here-ness. If you think, I got to go out and find peace, I got to go out and find love, I got to go out and find money. It's not outside of you. If you're reaching, you're still thinking it's outside of you. Oh, it's moronic, all right. Oxymorons. That's everyone in Congress right now. I'm looking at some notes I made last night. I did a lot of work last night. I had some shit up in my face last night. And I was like, okay, well, this is what I asked for. I asked for the roots and the issues and the things that I struggle with around money in particular. But it's all the same thing. And I never have stopped looking outside of myself. I never fully internalized the idea that money, love, housing, whatever, it all starts right here. Like, I get that about some things. I know that my relationships are influenced by my attitude. I haven't really accepted the idea until recently that money flow is impacted by my attitude just the same as with people. So, thinking about things being illusion and actually living that is periodically painful. When your stories come apart, it can be scary and painful. And when you forget that you asked for these things to be amplified so that you could see them more clearly, it can shut you down. So I had to get reminded. I tell you guys all the time, make a list of stuff so that when you freak out, you can go somewhere and get reminded. So I called my mom. She reminded me that this is all story. And I was like, oh, yeah, story. So, I got off the phone and was working with the stories about what does this mean? If this happens, then this could happen, and then that could happen. And, it always ends up with the bag lady scenario, right? Especially for women. We always end up with this concept that I'm going to be a bag lady, I'm going to die on the street. When you're an existential therapist, which I'm not, but I do pull from that tradition, the whole thing is, well, if you weren't scared of death, you wouldn't worry about being a bag lady on the street. That's not horrible. That's only horrible because you make it horrible. The Law of Divine Compensation, by Marianne Williamson. Yes, I've been picking through that one, and it is like a completely different book. If you go back and reread some of your materials, you can see, oh my God, this is not how I understood this book to be a few years ago. You have been wrong about the world because you have misjudged yourself. All seeing starts with the perceiver, who judges what is true and what is false. And what he judges false, he does not see. The out of mind is out of sight, because what is denied is there, but it's not recognized. Christ is still there. Love is still there, although you don't see him. But Christ's energy does not depend upon our recognition. Love lives within you in the quiet present and waits for you to leave the past behind and enter into the world that is held out to you in love. Beautiful words, right? Beautiful words, and hard to live, because the stuff that's in between that has to be acknowledged, has to be accepted. So that's where I think we get lost and we stop ourselves. So we start this growth process and we're like, yay, love. That looks amazing. It's all pink and fluffy and I'm going to go straight for love. Well, you can't. You can't go from 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye. You can get a glimpse of it. But to stay there, to consistently be at your home on Peace Street, on 123 Peace Street, requires clearing out the roadblocks that stop you from getting home. So the traffic jams, the potholes, the construction zones, all the garbage that keeps you from driving at home. That's what we were talking about with my hubby today. Yes, you know why? That's because we're all connected. One of us makes a shift, we all get the opportunity to make a shift. Group, coming together as a group is powerful. We're not connected just during Periscope. Yeah, you heard it on a podcast. Right, there's a lot of people really getting this stuff in a new way. There's lots of people on Periscope talking about it in a different way. It's like all the things we've been thinking about for years are starting to be put into practice. We're starting, I think, to a larger degree, or at least among the people that I'm aware of, to walk our talk a little more thoroughly than we have in the past. To, when fear comes up, to not ignore it. When fear comes up, to let ourselves be aware of it, and then look at the stories around it. So when you take, that's what I tell my workshop people, when you turn up the heat on yourself, on your pot of stew, your particular pot of stew, and then you take the lid off, stuff's gonna come up. It's just a guidepost. Yeah. Stuff's gonna come up. Yeah, your shit shifts you. But what happens is we're not used to that. So we can get scared and we can back off, right? So the heat goes up. We start to boil. And we go, oh shit, I didn't want to feel this. And we turn the heat back down so we can settle back down. When we'd be much better off to crank the heat up even more Acknowledge that this is just the process and go on through it. Yeah, you've got to allow it. You stir up the water. It gets muddy. You allow it to process, and then it automatically settles. It's not even something you're doing. It's an automatic process. It's allowing. Yes, definitely. Exact same thing. I think I said before you got on here, Eckhart Tolle says, what's wrong with this moment? Ask yourself, what's so bad about this moment that you're fighting so hard against it? The only thing that is bad is your story about the moment. What wants to happen here is one of my favorite questions because it opens me up to all kinds of stuff. Right. So be careful if you're still in the concept, and I'm talking to myself too, still in the masculine way of manifesting, still in the go out and get method of creating your life, or I won't even say creating your life, experiencing the life that's waiting for you, just like what we just read. Love lives within you in the quiet present and waits for you to leave it behind, drop it, allow it, and experience what's already here. Living bravely, it takes serious balls to do this work. I'm writing down living bravely. I like that. If you're struggling, get them out. Use those balls. Put them to work. To give, she's awesome. To give this sad world over and exchange your errors for the peace of heaven is your will. That's it. I saw that, Michelle. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But I will. Oprah's a great example of what a life looks like when it's allowed to happen. So what stops acceptance of the moment? Judgment and labeling. If we're reaching towards something, we have labeled our present unacceptable. We've said, this life is unacceptable and I'm going to reach for something better. But by reaching for something better, we make sure we never get it. Oh, yeah. Oprah is the person I used most often in my younger years because we came from similar backgrounds, even to my dad's family's from Mississippi. I actually lived in Kosciuszko for a while as a teenager. And as a child, my sister and I were in Mississippi several times. We have similar circumstances. So I always told myself, if Oprah can do it, if Oprah can pull out of this, so can I. Hello. You're welcome. Silverdale. You're welcome. We're here every day before noon Eastern. Enjoy your work day. So watch how many times during the day you're thinking of reaching towards something you don't have, you think you don't have. Think about how many times a day you compare today to yesterday or tomorrow. I was telling my mom this morning that Eckhart Tolle, when he had his awakening breakthrough thing, he used to sit for hours in the park and do nothing. And he was fine with that. He didn't worry about it. He didn't worry about where he was going to eat. He didn't worry about where he was going to sleep. And then when I first read that book so many years ago, I was like, what? That would be terrifying. But now I can, yeah. I can sit on the porch now and listen to the stream and watch the cats play. at times and not worry about it. And last night I got myself freaked out about money. And then I forgot. So I used my resources to remember that, oh yeah, I want this stuff to come up. I welcome it. What if you welcomed everything that you currently label horrible, like when you sneeze and pee your pants? What if that was okay? What if that was all right? The last part of Byron Katie's worksheets tells you that you have to be willing to experience what you just said you don't want to experience again. Is love available even there when you're sneezing and you pee your pants? Achoo! Oh, ew. Is love available there? She says, if you're not willing to experience that, I know, right? Me too. Very hard to sneeze and clench at the same time. It's the worst, right? We label it the worst. Excuse me. Good Lord. Yeah. Good Lord. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind for myself. Thank you for the hearts and the shares, by the way. They're very pretty today. Right, you have to really quickly cross your legs. Right, and we get upset about that, but we have to be willing to welcome it all. And I don't know, I'm just really struck today, this week actually, about how easy it is to talk about these things and understand them from an intellectual point, and then to try and actually live them. Your family laughs at you. We are one. We are sisters of the Pee Patrol. We are sisters in our lack of pelvic floor integrity. Sneezing becomes a step 1, 2, and 3 process. You have to plan for it. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to sneeze. Okay, I got to do these steps. 1, 2, 3. Pee, you guys are funny. So, think about how often you're reaching and try to really experience the understanding that reaching toward it is pushing it away. Sitting helps. Sitting definitely helps. Right. When my dog got old, she started to leak, and they gave her a hormone, and it helped. But I think ultimately it probably killed her. But I said, I want that hormone, and they're like, you can't take it; it gives you cancer. And I was like, well, then why are you giving it to my dog? And they're like, well, because she's old. By the time she develops cancer, she'll already be dead. And I was like, well, that's horrible. That's a horrible thing to say. But it's true. I really would like to take that pill, but I really don't want to get cancer either. So, yeah, I guess. Catherine, wasn't one of yours 10 pounds? Wasn't Altany like 10 pounds? 9 or 10 pounds or something? Is she still here? So be careful what you ask for. When you buy a mini money mala, or you start to really dive into this stuff, your stuff will come up. Your life's not falling apart. What's happening is you're waking up. Yeah, see, 10.4 and 9.8. Me too. It's a little power-packed strand. Does it make sense to you guys? When you start this work and things go to shit, it's okay. It's what's supposed to happen. Dive in. Don't run. Turn around and dive in. Make the feeling bigger. Shit is the way. That's right. Shit rises up. If you expand the feeling and breathe and be present, here's what happens, okay? You freak out. You have the panic. You start to think, this, bag laying on the street, dead. While you're panicking, if you can make it bigger, you can think, oh yeah, this is what I asked for. Cool. Here it is. Here's my fear. Here's the stuff that's keeping me from getting home. And I want to go home. So I'm going to feel this fear, and I'm going to feel it as big as I can. I'm going to feel it in my legs. I'm going to feel it in my feet. I'm going to feel it in the pit of my stomach. When you do that, you're like, and you're panicking, and then all of a sudden, this is what happens. Your body goes, and it starts to ease off. Simple, but not easy. That's where the courage comes in. That's where walking your talk comes in. This is what you asked for, because you want to go home. You want to feel home. You want to see that other world. You want to live. You want to experience the other world that's right here, right now. You just can't see it all the time. But you want that, or you wouldn't be here. And there's just some shit in your way. Standing witness to those emotional bursts dissipates them and gets you a greater experience of home. What home feels like, what home looks like in your daily life. Home, living at home, means that as you're sitting around processing your emotions, a solution pops up to the problem. Or someone gives you something, or you hear about something, or you remember, oh, I stashed $100 in a book like 2 years ago. I just totally forgot about it. That's never happened to me, but I'm assuming that it could. Maybe I did stash $100 somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to remember if I'm freaking out. And then what happens? You stop fearing fear. That old saying, we have nothing to fear but fear itself, is true. Our fear of our own fear keeps us from moving through it. The more you dive into fear, the more comfortable it gets, and it doesn't scare you anymore. It's a discovery every day. Yes, everyday practice is what makes it possible. But everyday practice is also what brings your demons up to be dealt with. And you just deal with them by feeling them and breathing. Feel and breathe. Feel and breathe. Don't reach. Receive. You believe it and then you see it. Yep, you experience this. Although you can't go into it, and I've heard this forever, and I'm starting to believe it might actually be true. You can't go into this work with the idea of making something better. You won't get what you're looking for if you're still thinking that what you have right now is bad, or something to be rejected, or something to be eliminated. What you have right now is truly perfect. Yeah, we're moving from that masculine outward get, go do, go take action, to that more feminine of let's just allow what exists. Let's just be. Let's just allow the love that's in us and around us all the time to express itself in our life. What you are seeking is seeking you. And you are looking for God through God's eyes. Paradox. You're looking for God through God's own eyes. You're already there. You're already there. You're already home. Getting comfortable with strong emotions. Just allow. Not reject what's happening. If you think I need to feel better, you're rejecting how you feel now. Yeah, feel connected. Or be aware of your connection that's already here. So I'm really going to work on changing my language around that. And to stop thinking in terms of, this is great, but I want better. And to think more in terms of, this is great. Let me dive into this. What's happening right now? It's great. It's all good. Really, it's all good. So let me dive into what's happening right now. Right now, I'm away from home. I don't like that. I like to be at home. But because of the holiday, I have to come down to Loganville, stay the night, and be here all day tomorrow. I won't get home till tomorrow night, probably around midnight. I don't like that. So the next 2 days, I have opportunity to keep my awareness on these beautiful little girls. We have a potty chair. We're going to play with that. That's going to be fun. You know, to keep my awareness. Tonight we're going to Waffle House. Who doesn't love Waffle House? To keep my awareness right here, rather than to let my awareness wander into, I'd rather be at home. I'd like to take all this here in Loganville and take it home with me. Yeah, steak and eggs. Terrible service. Awesome food. Grits. I want it all in at my home, and that's not possible, and it's not even appropriate. Who doesn't love grits? So when I'm in Loganville, I need to be in Loganville. Make yourself some grits, Linda. Make cheesy grits. Those are really good. When I'm here, I need to be here. When I'm at home, I need to be at home. When I'm at home, sometimes I'm anxious, thinking that I'm going to have to leave home the next day. So that totally ruins my experience of being home. I'm not fully. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Linda's allergic to the kitchen. If she goes near the kitchen, she breaks out in hives. So therefore, she cannot have grits. We're always together. So I will eat grits for you, Linda. And I have to be gluten-free so somebody can eat. They're not bad. You put enough butter on anything and it's fine. You just butter up those microwave grits. Oh, butter. Wherefore art thou, butter? So remember, I guess if I could just leave you with one thing today. When you get hit, will you marry me, butter? I would so marry butter. Tons of pepper. I'll let you fix yours with pepper. I've never liked pepper. I just like salt. Salt, sugar, and fat. So the one thing I would leave you with is that quote again. The very act of reaching for the feather creates the breeze that pushes it away. I'm so hungry now. And when you stop reaching, everything that's keeping you from being aware of the peace that is in you right now manifests itself so that you can see it, feel it, and drop your story about it. See it, feel it, drop your story about it, and then you are automatically home. Cynthia, we just missed you. We're just wrapping up. Yeah. So you asked for it. You asked for it, you got it, Toyota. You asked for this to happen. You wanted this to happen because you know it has to happen for you to live at home, for you to experience, to embody, let's use that word, to embody the love that exists. Okay. To embody the experience of home or peace or connection or love, to embody that requires you to get the obstacles out of the way, to go through the construction zone, to get through the potholes. We are containers for love. When you pour something in, it explodes what doesn't match. Love. Oh, who is it that said, oh gosh, love brings up anything unlike itself. I don't remember where I heard that from. It might be a Course in Miracles thing. When you are experiencing a great degree of love and power flowing through you and your body, it brings up everything that doesn't match that energy of God, love, spirit, source. Everything that doesn't fit has to be allowed to dissolve. You don't have to kill it. You don't have to hunt it down and stab it to the ground. You just allow it, but allowing it means feeling it. And feeling it lets it dissipate, and more love comes and brings up what doesn't match. And you allow it to dissipate, and more love can come. And you allow it. You just allow it. You just feel it. It's not intellectual. It's really gut. Right? No wonder we're so scared all the time. No wonder we're like beating the hell out of each other all the time. We're so scared. We're so scared. Because we have cut ourselves off from our own salvation. We've cut ourselves off from it. Who wouldn't be scared if you think that you're alone in the world? It doesn't match who we are. Right? Your salvation is remembering that the process of returning home, the process of salvation, is not reaching for it, just feeling it, allowing it. It's already right here. The more you allow it, though, the more you'll get hit with fear. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to bounce a check. You're going to have a flat. You're going to have some stupid leak in your roof. You're going to have somebody go off on you. And you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on is it's coming up and out. So when it triggers that emotion in you, stay with it, breathe with it, accept it. That's what it looks like. That's what the process of going home looks like. When I say you have to get through the construction zone looks like somebody screaming at you in traffic. And you're like, what the hell? And whatever experience you're experiencing, experience it so that more love can come. And you can. I actually experienced this last night. Never experienced it before in my life, and I don't know if I ever will again. I actually got excited to sit and do this process about all the things that I struggle to feel and accept in my life. And one of those is fear of credit card debt. The other one is I'm a mess if I run over an animal. Oh my God, I'm like in mourning for 2 weeks. I wear black. I cry all the time. It's ridiculous. My reaction to it is way over the top. And I don't want to feel like that. So the animal dies, and then I keep dying its death over and over for weeks. Okay, Linda, it's nice to talk to you. Glad you were here. Oh, you're really going to get to practice a lot of stuff with your puppy. I forgot to ask you about that. I do. Enjoy your day. Puppy, what kind of puppy? I guess it's important to remember, oh wow, the next 3 years of your life are going to be very interesting. Have you had a lab before? Get yourself some puppy classes right away. Do you run, Michelle? Oh my. Get yourself some puppy classes. Do not watch The Dog Whisperer. Don't train your dog like that. It works, but it leaves your dog scared of you. There's other ways. They are super hyper, and they will tear your house up. Here's the key with labs. All you have to do is this, and I will agree with The Dog Whisperer about this. Exercise your dog. Exercise the hell out of that dog, and they'll be fine. Get a ball. Get one of those ball throwers. You put the tennis ball in the ball, and it'll throw it even farther. Run the shit out of that lab. It'll be fine. They're so sweet after they're 3. Get a ball then. You exercise that puppy, and it'll be fine. They just have lots and lots of energy, and people don't understand that. They stay puppies for 3 years. And right around their 3rd birthday, you'll be like, this is a different dog. And then they're so sweet and so loyal and so wonderful. But the first 3 years, just know that they got to have a lot of exercise. Yeah, they're so easy to train. Yeah. Labs are, and gold retrievers too, about 3 years old. So exercise, 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 and you'll be fine. Oh yeah, they're so sweet. So sweet. Puppies are just constant smiling. Just know you're going to sacrifice some shoes. No big deal. You can buy more shoes. So when you have a flat, yeah, they do. When you have a flat, when you have an unexpected expense and you freak out, say to yourself this: oh my God, here it is. Oh my God, I've been totally waiting to be triggered. Yay! Now I can sit down and work with this emotion. Awesome. This is what I asked for. This is getting me closer to Peace Street. Oh, I bet they are. Try that. Yeah, and then get excited that you know that more shit's coming. You know why? Because you handled this shit today. More shit's coming and you're like, well, I handled this. I'm going to be able to handle that too. And then you stop worrying about what's coming. And then you can just reside and rest. And let life show you what it has to offer. Then you can start asking that question. What wants to happen here? What wants to happen here today? What wants to happen here today? I'll tell you what's going to happen here today. These little knuckleheads are going to wake up and we're going to play with the potty chair. It's too soon for potty training, but it's not too soon to start showing them what it's all about. Actually, Avery might be ready for potty training. We'll see. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to offer it. We're just going to offer the baby toilet. It's an Elmo toilet. Ashlyn calls it elbow. She can't say Elmo. She says elbow. And that's as far as I'm going to go. Moment by moment by moment. Till we get to the Waffle House. Then I'm going to love that. And then moment by moment by moment. I pray, if I'm coughing tonight, then I'm coughing tonight. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to think, God, I hope I don't cough tomorrow night. God, I hope I can sleep tonight. God, I hope I don't cough all night. I'm just going to let this moment be enough. Like Eckhart Tolle says, there's nothing wrong with this moment. How did you feel? What emotion did it trigger in you to witness? Probably. So the key to that wondering is, how did you feel when you saw it? What did it trigger for you? Fear. So then you work with the fear. And you work with the story around the fear. Now, this is assuming that you, sending love to them, but to you. Send love to you. If we believe there's no coincidences, so vulnerable for your physical safety. Now, this is assuming that you've already called 911 if that's what you need to do, or you've already gotten to a safe place. But you can go back in time and you can relive it, feel that fear, and let it just come up and out. Breathe through it. Move. If your body feels like moving, do some Koya dancing or some shaking. Sometimes your body just wants to shake all over. And let it move through you so that you don't have to be afraid of fear. So you're completely safe now. If thinking about it still triggers fear, then it's information for you to work with. So if you think about something and the emotion comes back up, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to process more. It's an opportunity to get comfortable handling your emotions. To get comfortable allowing them to be whatever they are in that moment. So yeah, absolutely, if that's where you were and that's what you witnessed, I've had those experiences before. Sometimes they still bother me later and I'll work with them. And sometimes if I think about them later, I'm like, whoa, that was weird. So then I assume it wasn't for me. Does that make sense? Okay, my throat is done. That's all I have today. So that statement, I'm just going to grab you for a second. I forgot your first name. I'm so sorry. City living is not safe. Do you mind if I grab onto you for a second, shiny soul? See how much voice I have left? You can always, Susan, can I grab onto your statement right there? City living is not safe. That's the message that you had. So so then you can work with that by asking yourself, is that true? Is it really? Is city living really not safe? Can you absolutely know that that's true? That it's not safe? And then you can ask yourself, how do you feel when you carry around the thought, I'm not safe? Most days it's been safe. So city living is not safe is not really true. Almost all days until today. So what can happen today is you can form a new belief that says, I'm not safe now. I'm surrounded by terror in the news, and now I've seen terror right in front of me. I'm not safe now. I'm not safe anymore. So then you can start, this is how new systems of attraction start. Then you can start finding more evidence that life is not safe anymore. It's been safe, and now it's not safe. That's how our systems change. So question that thought if you want to. It's totally an invitation. You can even go to thework.com, print yourself off a worksheet, and work with that statement that you just said, because I felt a real zing of power in that statement. City living is not safe. I felt a real zing on this end of a powerful. Yeah, you can look for the goodness. You can also allow your fear freedom to move through. I would say both. I would say feel that fear, feel it, allow it, treat it kindly, and recognize that the only safety is in our own mind anyway. We don't have any control over what's going to happen outside of us. If you haven't been feeling like that, the constant exposure of fear images and fear, terror, and things in the media lately and on Facebook can be overwhelming. And I don't suggest that you look at those for too long, but I also don't suggest that you don't look at them at all. Because there is a great amount of fear being generated. What's it doing? Yeah, Susan, if you can watch the replay if you have time. So what's happening right now? Fear, fear, fear. Yes. Yeah. So if you're being exposed to a lot of fearful images and it's generating, you're tapping into the fear. And then you see it demonstrated right in front of you. The key out of that, the key to allowing to rise up in you the love that we know is our only truth, is feeling and expressing the fear. So when a lot of fear gets generated personally or culturally, it's simmering, okay? It's just, it's like this ball of fear and nobody wants to feel it, and we just shove against it and we make more fear. So the statement, I'm not picking on you. I hope you know I'm just like using you as an example of this, how this happens. Now we don't feel safe, right? So now we don't feel safe, and we're going to create more reflections of our unsafe feeling inside. So our outer is going to start now to shift and show us more things that make us feel unsafe. Right? So you can catch this really quickly by feeling that fear and then acknowledging when you feel it and you hear the news and something scares you and you feel it and allow it to roll on through, acknowledging that it's just a sensation, it has somewhere to go, so it dissipates. If you dam a river, all the water builds up behind it and creates a huge pressure. Then that pressure has to explode somewhere. If you feel fear as it rises up in the moment as much as you can, and soon after, it's pretty rare that we can express it all in the moment, but we can revisit it and we can let it flow on through. Then as it rises up, we can feel it, and we don't form new beliefs around it then. So we're at a critical juncture here where we can start to form beliefs that all Muslims are terrorists, or that all gun-packing, flag-flying rednecks are dangerous, because they look dangerous. Both of them do. Our culture is telling us they're dangerous. And we get to choose to express our own fear. So it's like we talked about, and I don't think you were here, but for several days we talked about the war within. When we have fear in us and we war against it, when we war against our thoughts, we don't want to feel them, we don't want to feel that emotion, we don't like those thoughts, so we fight internally. We start to become more aware of external war. The only way to stop war in the world is to stop it here first. And right now, we can all be experiencing a lot of fear. And if we're not careful, we will build the momentum of that because we're fighting against it. Feeling the fear stops the buildup of that snowball effect. It comes up, you feel it. It comes up again, you feel it. You ask yourself, is there a story around this? And there may not be. You may just be picking up fear and expressing it on behalf of yourself and on behalf of the whole world that has a big giant cloud of fear being generated right now. If each of us could take a little chunk of that fear and express it, it won't build up momentum so fast. It won't continue to magnetize more and more and more and more fear thoughts, more rejection, more war. Nothing changes without acceptance. Accepting the fear and the sense of being unmoored, in the sense of having the rug pulled out from underneath us, getting comfortable with that uncertainty. We benefit ourselves and we benefit the whole world. We were talking about in the earlier part of this scope too, all of us kind of going through the same changes all at once because we're all connected. We're all on this same path together. So it's the same for the world. So all the good work that we do in ourselves every day, then, just like you said earlier, our outer reflects our inner. Our global outer will start to affect start to reflect our global inner. Does that make sense? Like, that was a huge chunk of information right there. So hopefully that came out in some coherent way. That's how small it starts. It starts with one. I'll give you an example. When I saw the pictures on Facebook, I'm from Texas. I was born and raised in Texas. And in Irving, which is a suburb of Dallas, Texas, some men decided that they needed to dress in war apparel and take their guns and rifles and go stand outside of a mosque that was having its worship services. They thought that would be a great idea. And they said they wanted to demonstrate that they were willing to use force to control the Muslims, kill the Muslims. They didn't care if they were related to terrorists or not. They didn't care if they were Americans who've chosen to practice Islam. They were just, and they said that, we want to demonstrate a show of force. We are demonstrating our aggression. Our country's not going to fuck you up, so we're here to let you know that we will fuck you up. That scared me. It scared me a lot. I've been to Irving. I know what it looks like. So it was like, it almost felt like it was happening in my own town. Like in my own town, there were armed men surrounding a place of worship. And I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And it scared me pretty bad. And so that's the small place where we get to pivot. We have a choice. I've probably some cultural impact of feeling the collective fear. And you know what? It really doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with it now. What matters is that when fear gets triggered, regardless of where it comes from, that we give it free expression and we return to love. We return to love over and over and over. If unexpressed fear keeps us from returning to love, and that's what creates more fear in the collective. Make sense? Yeah. So that's how it starts. That's a great example of how it starts. I see something that scares me. Yeah, what you need to look at is the reaction you had to it and the reaction you're still having to it. And that's the information you can use for your own growth. So, when I saw those fearful things with the men and the guns, I had a choice. Absolutely, that's exactly what we've been talking about today. Trying to figure it out is an ego trick that keeps you more in fear because you'll never figure it out. Or you'll think you figured it out and then you'll think of something else. It's an ego game. It's a thing we do that actually keeps us anchored in the world that we'd rather not see. We'd rather see the world of love, source. So we get to choose. Feel the fear. You see something that scares you, feel the fear as soon as you can. Don't reject it. Rejecting it means you're going to see again something that makes you scared. And you might still see something that makes you scared, but you're going to process it faster. Rejecting the fear means I'm going to notice more crazy shit. So I'm talking to myself here too, reinforcing for myself here too how important it is to feel what you feel and don't worry about where it comes from. Just deal with the part that you have control of, and that's your reaction to it. And be mindful of the collective fear. Yeah, I have to remind myself every frickin' day. Every frickin' day, Susan. Every damn day. Yeah. And I apologize, Susan. I know you've told me your name before. Right. Trying to figure it out, trying to analyze it is a lot of wasted energy. Excuse me. I'm done. I'm losing it. I gotta go. But thank you, Susan, for letting me use your as an example to remind us all of what we're trying to do here. And everybody's for your comments and your hearts and your shares and your participation in this daily journey that we're on, which I so love, is benefiting me so much. Certainly changing my world. And remember that when things pop up for you like that create fear or anger or whatever, it's just clearing the road to return home. Blessings. I will take those blessings and thank you. Blessings on you guys. Blessings on all y'all's heads. Blessings on your heads. So much love for you. It's so much rapidly losing my voice. So you're so welcome. You're so welcome. If you guys can catch the replay, the place we started, explains where we've ended up. Because that's we started with this discussion, and then Susan gave us a brilliant example that we could work with and demonstrate what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It's just that easy. Just feel it and let it go. Ask yourself what wants to happen here today. What wants to happen here? Blessings on all our heads. All right, love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for from Loganville again for a Tao Te Ching reading tomorrow and the Byron Katie work tomorrow. So, love you.